Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a new recording of the three Enescu symphonies, conducted by Cristian Măcelaru, who's Romanian. He was born in Timișoara. Yeah, but actually he spent most of his life in Florida and Texas. So he's also from Florida and Texas. Whether that helps, I don't know. What I will tell you is that, there aren't that many Enescu symphony cycles out there. I mean, there really aren't. There was the old ones on Electrocord or whatever that was from Romania, one of which was on Olympia with Horia Andreescu, which I think was very good, actually. But it's long gone. And for like modern recordings, we've got three. There is Lawrence Foster with the Monte Carlo Orchestra on Warner, which is quite good. There's Gennady Rozhdestvensky on Chandos with the BBC Philharmonic, which is slower and heavier and more Russian sounding, I suppose. Rozhdestvensky did everything a bit slower than everybody else, but that's not necessarily bad in this music because there's so much going on at the same time in most of these pieces that actually to give you more opportunity to hear what's happening throughout the texture is not terrible, and it's well played. So those are good. And my preferred versions, which are Hannu Lintu, and the Tampere Philharmonic on Ondine. Those are recent. I mean, they've only come out in the past couple of years, and their couplings are great, and they're on 3 discs, and they're very, very fine. Now, here you get the 3 symphonies plus the 2 Romanian Rhapsodies. And I have to tell you straight off, the Romanian Rhapsodies aren't very good. You get a sense here that the engineering has really let these performances down. And that's a problem in Enescu because, my God, there's so much going on, as I said. You just got to hear the last movement of the Second Symphony, which has, it's got like a harmonium, and I think it has a harmonium, but it's got a piano part that's clunking along and that's like impossible to balance because it doesn't do anything that's thematically significant. And you've got harps whizzing about and woodwinds and brass flying in from the sides, and the strings are going crazy, and the whole last section's in like 4/2 time. 4/2 is just such a weird time signature because it means the note values are very long, which means Enescu can fill every single note with thousands of smaller notes, and it's like impossible to keep together. And the orchestra here sounds like they're pretty desperate in places, especially there. I mean, the first and the third symphonies, let's put it this way, go better than the second. Because the second is just such an everything but the kitchen sink piece. I mean, the third, too. It has an organ. It has a wordless female choir going woo in the finale. There's a lot of that going on, too. But it ends softly. I don't know. So for some reason, the third seems to me not to be as crazy complicated. It's a little bit clearer than 2. 2 is just a mess. And to play it well, you've got to find the tune and pick what's going to be on the surface and let everything else not be. And this sounds messy. I can't phrase it any other way. I've listened to these pieces quite frequently, a lot, and I love them. And they are nuts, but the sound here is lacking in clarity. In the first Romanian Rhapsody, where are the cymbals? They sound like they're in another town. It's like ja 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 yum 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 da 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 da. It's like snare drum, cymbals, percussion. Brass, it's very flat-footed and colorless. And I don't think that's Măcelaru's fault. I really think the engineering just sucks. And that's also true in the Second Symphony, where it just sounds like a big mess. I like what he does to shape the piece. He clearly has a view of the music. And it's a strong one. The Third Symphony goes very, very well. It flows nicely. The ending doesn't last like 10 minutes longer than it's supposed to. The First Symphony is probably the easiest of them all. It sounds sort of like Strauss on steroids, and it's rich and it's voluptuous, or Scriabin or somebody like that. It's one of those things. And it mostly consists of, tunes that are somewhat aligned with the underlying texture, But the second, oh my God, it's like just this contrapuntal nightmare. It really is. And at the end, I mean, these tam-tam crescendos, well, you don't hear them at all here. I don't even know if they're doing it. And like strange bits of like castanet and snare drum, and some things you hear and some things you don't. And the tambourine and woodwinds squealing at the top and brass things flying in from the sides. It really doesn't have the what's the word? I mean, just the clarity that we need to have. But like I said, I like the way he shapes the music. He does the ending of the finale of the second really, really well. In other words, it builds to a big climax and sort of takes off at the end, and it has lots of energy. He's trying to get them to move. You can hear that he's pushing. He's really pushing to make the ending exciting. But the sonics don't give him what he's asking for. I don't know. I really don't know. He did this really fine Saint-Saëns symphony cycle, but that was on Warner. And he clearly is a good conductor. And I get a sense that, with good sound and a really great orchestra, this could have been really something special. But as it is, I'm a little disappointed. I mean, of the three cycles I've mentioned, the Foster, the Rostisvensky, and the Lintu, this is coming in fourth. And it shouldn't. It just shouldn't. I don't understand what's going on with DG's engineering. I really don't. It's not up to par. There's no two ways about that. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.